Today we're talking about real numbers, and real numbers are made from rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers, we talked about these, I believe it was chapter 5. The rational number is a number that can be written as a quotient of two integers. So in other words, it can be written in fraction form. As a decimal, a rational number terminates or repeats. So it can be written as a quotient of two integers, and as a decimal it terminates or repeats. What does it mean that it terminates? That it ends. So for example, the number 3 is a rational number because as a decimal, this is 3.0, it terminates, it ends there. And it can be written as a quotient of two integers. It can be written as 3/1. Another example would be the number 5.75. Is this a terminating or a repeating decimal? Terminating decimal. It stops at 0.75, 5.75. So this is a rational number. Let's say we have 6.3. So this is 6 repeating 3. This is a repeating decimal. It is also a rational number. Now an irrational number. An irrational number is a number that cannot be written as a quotient of two integers. In other words, it cannot be written in fraction form. The decimal form of an irrational number neither terminates nor repeats. That means it does not end and it does not repeat. For example, pi. Pi is an irrational number. 3.14 is just the beginning, but it's 3.1415, and it goes on and on and on forever. It never repeats and never ends. So it neither terminates nor repeats. Another example of an irrational number is the square root of 7. The square root of 7 in decimal form would be 2.6457, and it goes on and on and on and on. It does not terminate and does not repeat. So let's take a look at these numbers and let's classify these real numbers. So 5/8. What is 5/8 in decimal form? 0.625. What type of decimal is this? Terminating. It's a terminating decimal because it ends at 0.625. So is this a rational or an irrational number? Rational. What is the decimal form of 5/6? 0.8 repeating 3. So what type of decimal is this? Repeating. Is this rational or irrational? Rational. What about the square root of 19? The square root of 19 is equal to 4.358898944, and it goes on and on. Is this decimal repeating? No, it's non-repeating. Therefore, this number is rational or irrational? Irrational. So real numbers consist of all rational and irrational numbers. So rational numbers include Rational numbers would be all integers. What are the integers? The positives and the negatives, and all whole numbers. So rational numbers include decimals, right? Now, irrational numbers are all those numbers that you cannot write as a terminating or repeating decimal, and you cannot write as a fraction, but they're those decimals that just go on and on and on forever. Both rational and irrational numbers make up all real numbers.